been paying out. That's kind of the thing, though. I mean, my hat's off to those guys, but a lot of them are technical traders, and the retail space is more geared for intraday work, which are maybe some swings that turn from intraday, but personally, I'm more like just a nice swing trade, and I use a lot of fundamentals into it to see the coming storms. So
Yes.
a lot of those guys are just buying resistance without any
Right.
overlay. So I mean, it was a good technical trade probably, but there's a lot of fundamental data at play right now. So a lot of intraday noise. It's a lot of choppiness in the market.
Yeah. No, I do like to watch a bit of news.
Yeah, my man. And I've been giving my guys a little shortcut because it's not necessarily. It's interesting as you learn more about the charts, but we use a lot of the economists to do the legwork. So I mean, TradingView is pretty decent on, their geopolitical news, and then you have they even have there's a little thing I could use called I call it a Twitter feed. So I got my Twitter kind of set up with top economists, and I use these stock twits because generally they're almost a little sharper. Sometimes you can catch alerts before the news it hits the news.
Right.
Because you have guys, in different countries, kind of reporting different things. Sometimes you'll get an edge just from Twitter.
Don't you ever use the Bloomberg terminal?
I haven't paid for the terminal yet. But I just kind of put together a whole scope because I don't want to be so one-sided.
Right.
Even with Bloomberg, there's they're paid, so some of the stuff they may post may be a little
biased.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, I try to keep it more like what would I call them? More of just independent traders and a mix of some of these different news sites. Like I like the Forex news, but they want to pay for the memberships. Some of it's delayed. I have another one that's, what is it? Forex news. Got a couple of them, and then there's a couple of websites I like to use too. But like this Forex live news, man, they're pretty accurate, and I haven't seen too much of a bias yet. There has been a lot of Corona news, which is good. They've been keeping me up to date on even the counts. So there was a lot of spike today in America, Australia too. So I wasn't expecting too much of a push to the upside.
What do they charge for their subscription on Forex Live News?
I'm not sure. I've been able to make do with just using the delayed.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm more using the sentiment. So like I had a Audi, so it keeps me from buying the dips. If I see we're coming into a strong level and I do see some sentiment on top of it, it was like something like this with the Australia up to 1,000 military station for support. It makes me kind of leery of selling into that, or into, in this case, it would be trying to buy the bounce.
Right.
Yeah, so I kind of using it in tandem and try to get more of a 4D approach. So I have my technicals, I have my sentiment, just investors move. I have a fundamental, and then I use a volume, a volume type of approach or concept with it. The main overlay though is going to be supply and demand and an auction market theory. I kind of dabble. I'm not sure if you ever heard of Wyckoffian logic. Richard Wyckoff, excuse me. So it's a great method to start kind of diving into. You don't have to be as in depth. He uses things like signs of strength, and he has some great patterns. There's a pattern called a spring pattern that I like to look for. But he's a volume-based trader. It's similar to the Dow Jones theory, but he's using volume so he can see the transactions of the operator. So the main thing is spikes. I'm looking for volume spikes, to show me, you know, some big player has entered into the market either long or short.
Right.
Increasing and decreasing is telling me some things too. So when we rally on decreasing volume, I'm waiting for the turnaround, for the turnover. Because, you know, it can't really float on thin air. I always look at volume like the gas in the car. So we don't have any gas pushing the car sooner or later the car is going to stop.
Yes.
So those are some of the concepts and methods. Like I said, on top of a supply and demand type of structure, and then using the logic of auction market theory. So I don't really subscribe to overbought or oversold. I will use like a stochastic sometime or some type of oscillator, but I'm always thinking that, hey, if the bus driver or the operator wants to go higher, if he wants to pay a higher price, he'll pay a higher price.
Right.
Yeah, so it kind of keeps me out of the mist, but